You are welcome to Jerry Royal Channel. It has long been anticipated that Prince Edward IV and youngest of Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip's children would one day take over his father's Duke of Edinburgh title when Philip ultimately passed away. Philip died in April 2021 and the title went back to the crown, with hopes that Edward would one day inherit it. Multiple outlets have revealed that King Charles's plans for a cut-down monarchy may disregard his parents' pledge to give Edward the title wholly, a huge change in the royal family. Edward is styled as the Earl of Wessex, the only of the Queen's sons to not be a duke. Charles, while commonly known as the Prince of Wales, was also the Duke of Cornwall. Prince Andrew was given the title Duke of York. When Edward married Sophie Rhys-Jones, now Sophie, Countess of Wessex, in 1999, the late Queen and Philip agreed that Edward would inherit the Duke of Edinburgh title in due time. But it looks like Charles might not keep up with that plan after all. In honor of the couple's marriage, the Queen granted an earldom to her son, Edward, and Sophie agreed their children would not use the titles of Prince and Princess, instead using Lady Louise Windsor and James, Viscount Severn. The statement from Buckingham Palace 23 years ago reads, "The Queen, the Duke of Edinburgh, and the Prince of Wales have all agreed that the Prince Edward should be given the Dukedom of Edinburgh in due time, when the present title, now held by Prince Philip, eventually goes back to the crown. It was fine in theory, ages ago, when it was sort of a pipe dream of my father's," Edward once told the BBC. Of course, it will depend on whether or not the Prince of Wales, when he becomes king, whether he'll do that, so we'll wait and see. So yes, it will be quite a challenge taking that on, Edward added. The Sun reports that Charles intends to keep the Duke of Edinburgh title to himself now the crown, but will make use of it. And, while this could be interpreted as a snub to his youngest brother, Charles isn't taking Edward out entirely. He has added both Edward and his sister Princess Anne to his roster of councillors of state, which permits them to stand in for the king when he is either overseas or unwell. Prince Edward and Prince Charles have been forced to spend more time apart than they would likely have in the past year as a result of the coronavirus pandemic, but now relations between the two have turned frostier after reports showed that the elder brother is trying to stop the younger from taking the Duke of Edinburgh title. The Duke of Edinburgh title will join with the crown upon Charles's eventual accession to the throne, meaning that it can be granted anew to Edward. The initial decision to give Edward the title was taken in recognition of his work with and commitment to the Duke of Edinburgh's award, of which he is a trustee, as well as chairman of the Duke of Edinburgh's International Award. Philip was the sixth person, including two Dukes of Gloucester and Edinburgh, to bear the title the Duke of Edinburgh. Thank you for latest updates on the British royal family.